which is still not a lot easier than the one on the side. If we're doing hip abduction, same setup, but now we're coming in the opposite direction, okay? So from this position, moving across the bed, you ready? Push into me and go. Push, 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 push. Good. So hip, ab and adduction. And just to complete that adduction, if you lay onto your side facing me, bottom leg straight this time. Yep. Top leg here. Hold your leg up. Got it?
Got it.
Got it? Now be careful with this. Don't overload people's tendons. They get a bit sore. Hold it. Got the weight of your leg there. Hold and hold, 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 hold. So that's a hard one to do, isn't it?
And I can feel more my breast glutes.
Yeah, and look, you could also have this leg up here. So you have, no, this leg's straight still. We're still testing this one. This one could be supported. This one come up. Straight leg, up. Hold. And then don't let me push you down. But you can see that's quite a difficult test to do. So my preference in my clinical situation, but even with my high level athletes, is to do it in supine. If you look at Christian Thorborg's articles, he's done a lot of articles talking about handheld dynamometry. His testing position for hip, ab and adduction, he tests in a sideline position. So here and pushing down there. It doesn't really matter, relax your legs, it doesn't matter which way you do it, but you need to do it in a way that is consistent so that you're comparing the same person with the same test. And the other thing that's good about doing it consistently in a position is that you also start comparing person to person to person to person. You need to do it regularly, and with a lot of people then you start to get a feel of what their strengths should be. So for example, I know with a manual muscle test, I shouldn't be able to overpower you that easily. That's not strong enough for what you do.
About the ratio between like hip external data, internal data,
Yeah, okay. So when you do these tests, you can sit up if you like. So let's talk about that. I was going to talk about it after we practice, but let's talk about it now. So then you've got an idea. So I'll just come over this so I'm closer to the thing line. So ratios, you need to have a measure that you use so that then you've got something to compare what is your ratio based on. So really the only way you can use ratios is if you have a number to compare to. So I use ratios a lot, so we've talked about that around the shoulder with internal and external rotation. With hip muscle strength, in a normal running athlete, hip ab to adduction should be 1-to-1. There are a few cases, so they have looked at ice hockey players, they're slightly stronger in their hip abduction to adduction, so that skating motion they do. With football players, so I'm talking European football, soccer, they're slightly stronger in their adductors, about 5%. So it's not a huge difference. So most people, if you aim for a 1-to-1 ratio around the hip ab to adductors, you're sitting at the right target. So you want right equals left, and you want in equals out. When it comes to hamstring and quad, which is obviously also very important, when you have hamstring quad, we always know your quad's got to be stronger than your hamstring. However, we don't want that ratio to fall below about 0.6. So we want to have a target of at least 60% strength of the quadriceps in the hamstring muscle. Does that make sense? So hamstring to quad, 0.6. So they're the ratios that we tend to work with. They give us the most information. Around the hip flexors extensors, you should be around flex to extend, you should be around 0.8. Okay, so the hip flexors are really strong, but they shouldn't be quite as strong as your extensors in a trained, fit person. So again, if you're looking at imbalances around the hip, they're good ratios, and also they give you information. If you are looking at someone's rehabilitation program, you go, they are extremely, I can feel they're really weak in their hamstrings, I can feel that I'm struggling to overpower them in their quads, there's not a good balance there. Or with your supine hip and adduction, you get a bit of an idea, because it's the same position, that it's much easier to overpower in one direction to the other, okay? With your dynamometry testing and your handheld dynamometry testing and manual muscle testing, you need to be in a position where you can win, because otherwise all your testing is how strong you are, not how strong the person you're testing is. So that's why I've given you a variety of positions, so you can bias it so that you can be the winner. But it is important, otherwise the test is just how strong you are. Now, with the bigger muscle groups, that can be a challenge, and particularly in trained athletes. So in my clinical practice and in the Institute